So this is what we're dealing with. We have a jury. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a jury of our peers, but it's a jury nonetheless. And so we go to trial, and we begin. Everyone, most misdemeanor cases take 2 days. Ours took 4 weeks. 9 to 5, and it's really just, at times it was exciting. It's interesting to hear, the lawyers get up there and argue. We had great community support from not just the Muslim community, but from the Jewish community, from the Christian community, from non-religiously affiliated communities, just activists in general, where we would have the courtroom packed with 300 people on a regular basis. And it was a great experience just to see the community come together in that regard. Anyways, we go through the trial. In the end, we are convicted and found unanimously guilty by the jury of both charges. And both charges held 6 months in jail was the maximum penalty of each charge. And so we didn't really think from the beginning we would go to prison, but the district attorney is actually now beginning to ask for us to go to prison. But the judge in the sentencing made a comment as to justify his sentencing, in which he said, due to the fact that these students acted out of sincere belief, and due to the fact that they weren't attempting to just go around and disrupt things as because they're a bunch of hooligans. And due to the fact that they have a history of outstanding character, I do not believe that this warrants any type of jail time. It was a nonviolent protest. I'm not giving, that type of a punishment for a nonviolent protest, so we ended up with community service. In the end, it turns out, ironically, that the district attorney himself got a lot of the public criticism after this. We were found guilty, it was over and done with, and then the public began to speak out. You had editorials in the LA Times, the OC Register coming out and saying, what a waste of taxpayer dollars. And this is really ridiculous. Prosecutorial misconduct. He should have better discretion in prosecuting crimes. And he attempted to justify his prosecution of us, and he wrote a response in the OC Register. And I'm just going to say one quote. I don't really want to play the victim role. I just want people to understand why this case came about. And I think this quote helps understand that. He wrote that the reason in which he prosecuted the case was, quote, to ensure that a small band of people do not hijack our freedoms. Us being the small band of people hijacking stuff. When we were 10 Muslim students in Orange County. And the case had been labeled the Muslim case by the district attorney. So you can understand what he was trying to get at. Last time I heard a small band of people hijacking something, it was usually in reference to the 9/11 hijackers. And our freedoms, I don't really know what he was trying to get at, but it seemed pretty clear to me that I wasn't included in our. And all of us were born in America, so I don't know what he's trying to get at either. But that's Orange County for you. And that's the way he was really using us to score some cheap political points throughout this entire process. And so with that was the end of the trial in that sense. But we were like, you know what, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to file an appeal in order to challenge the law that was used to prosecute us, because we felt it was a nature of selective prosecution, that there was some things that we felt what we did was within the law, but that this law was used to prosecute us in a manner that we didn't necessarily agree with, and that we wanted to challenge this ruling and challenge really the guilty verdict in order to establish a precedent for California Penal Code and for the California law to allow for forms of protest when the district attorney doesn't necessarily like what you have to say, or when the district attorney can use you in order to score some cheap political points. And so with that, we're currently appealing the case, hoping that it will make it up to a level in which it can really begin to have an effect for future people who want to protest within the state of California, and really throughout the United States. If it can have that effect, I don't know, I'm not an attorney. I'm not too sure. But hopefully we can continue to keep fighting, either on the Palestinian cause, whether it's tuition fee hikes, whether it's the marginalization of Black and Latino students on our campuses, whatever it is that we need to protest in order to bring about a better society. Hopefully we can all continue to protest in this manner or whatever manner we feel is acceptable at our universities and across this country. Thank you.